The Treaty of Sevres was signed on the 10th of August 1920. The treaty marks the end of the Ottoman Empire and the birth of Turkey. The Entente powers, being France, Britain, Italy, and Greece, would all divide up the old Ottoman lands, and all of their own military and political schemes, as well as create the nations of Armenia and a Kurdish state from the fallen empire. The Turks were to give economic concessions to France and Italy, who set up an occupation zone within Anatolia. The Greeks would be given western Thrace and areas in Anatolia as well, and in 5 years' time a referendum would be held to see which nations these areas wanted to be a part of. The Turks were also forced to limit their armies to 50,000 men and were to shrink their fleet, and like other Central Power members, they were also to pay a debt to the Entente. Nationalism in Turkey began to skyrocket as these humiliating terms reached the population, and when the Greeks began to land in Anatolia to take part in the partition and occupation of the old Ottoman Empire, the Turkish War of Independence, or Greco-Turkish War, would begin on the 19th of May 1919. With the French and English populations war exhausted and unwilling to fight such a war, and with the Turks fighting a guerrilla war against Greece, the war was on a timer till the Entente was completely exhausted. And on the 24th of July 1923, the Treaty of Lausanne was signed and the war was over. The Treaty of Lausanne was signed by the new Turkish government, led by Mustafa Ataturk, who had led the Turkish people to victory and established a new Turkish state and new cultural and political identity, and give it legitimacy within its new borders, kicking out the Italians and most French influence in the area, as well as forcing the Greeks and Turkish populations within both countries into forced migration into their new ethnic states. Approximately 2 million people were shifted between borders. During the Greco-Turkish War, the Turkish-Armenian War was unfolding, where the Armenians were left alone and with no support of the Entente, and were crushed by the Soviet and Turkish armies from both sides.